I hate to see the fear out there without reminding people to just take a deep breath, like you said, and have that moment for just a minute, and then do a Google search like Teri said. Check a few things out before you write us. And, you know, we're okay with you writing us, but we can't address things like my friend told me. We can't address that. We can check out something that we can check out, but something like that, no. What are we going to tell you? What are we going to be able to tell you? You know, and that is just take a deep breath and check it out first. Then come to us if you see something that is, you know, verifiable. Well, then we can check on that. We can try to anyway. We're not.
Yeah, remember, we don't have all the answers either.
Right, but we can try and tell you what we have heard or what information we may have gotten, but that's it. So we are messengers, is what we are.
The other kind of email that we've been getting, I shouldn't say we, because I'm not the one having to stay up till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning answering emails for Freedom Reigns, but Deatra and Sue, is the type of email where someone will say, well, you know what, somebody needs to deal with this and this and this, and they need to do this and they need to do that. My automatic answer to an email like that is, gee, thank you for volunteering. I'm sure they're going to need that type of service in your county. I'll see if I can connect you to like-minded people. Okay? Stop thinking about somebody needs to do this. Somebody needs to do that. You need to. If you see a need in your community, in this country, if you are not part of that solution, you are part of the problem. Stop and think, who is they? When you say they should do this and they should do that, guess what? Look in the mirror. You're they. It's us, we the people, each and every one of us, and we are the only ones who can restore this nation. We can't have that same old mentality where we elect people to office and they go on about our daily lives and ignore how they're doing the job that we sent them to do. Because what happens when you give people unlimited and unwatched power? They will abuse it. The temptation is great.
Another brick.
What's that?
Somebody just threw you another brick.
Thank you.
And somebody
the
else
hearse is being
a little
rebuilt.
red wagon full of bricks.
I appreciate you people. Right, we've got to start. We've got to start thinking differently. Do not take the information that Drake gives you, the information that I give you, and others to mean that there is an army of saviors coming to save your butt and solve your problems. They're not. Restoring this country means... I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I wanted to jump in and just say, haven't we been conditioned for that?
Yes, we have, but we've got to stop it.
Yes, we do, because we're so used to that, and some of us just can't get out of that mode.
Well, they conditioned us to that for a purpose. That was to condition us to be slaves. Because that's the plan, folks, to be slaves. We already are, although you don't know it, you know. But they're planning on an out-and-out genocide, for one thing, to lower the population to a manageable number. You know, they've got to be able to manage those slaves on that plantation. And they figure they can't manage more than 500 million people. Well, guess what? We got 7 billion people on this planet right now. 7.5 billion have to go, according to their plan. Are you one of them? How about your kids?
Yeah.
That's the plan. Okay, so you got to get out of that mindset. I know that we have been conditioned towards that. And this plan's been in the works for a long, 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 long time. Longer than any of us have ever taken breath. And it's hard. It is so difficult to realize that we have been lied to on every single front and on every single issue our entire lives. It's even worse to realize our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents were lied to all through their lives. And they trusted and they believed that they were working to give us a better life than they had. And all of us have worked our lives away trying to ensure that our children, and in my case my grandchildren, are going to have a better world than I had. But unfortunately, we were lied to. So accept it, get a grip, figure out how we're going to change it. You know, and part of it is, like I said earlier, if you don't know how your city or your town government, your county government, your state government is supposed to work to begin with, under a constitutional republic, is it not about time you find out? Because you cannot, if you got a Chevy and it breaks down and there's no mechanic around to help you out, you're not going to be able to fix it if you don't understand how it works in order to find out what went wrong with it. We can't reverse engineer this system unless we understand how it's supposed to work and where it's not working properly, how that happened. We don't have a crystal ball, but we do have hindsight. That is a great advantage for us. We can look back to the time when this country started, and we can identify each and every place that the original vision was distorted. How and why. And we can make sure that it doesn't happen again by closing up those loopholes that were used to twist us into the reality we're living today. But we can't do it if we sit back and we say, oh, they're coming to fix my problem. Somebody else is going to do it. They're going to do it. Who is they? Look in the mirror, people. We are they. You are the answer. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
Oh, someone asked you, Teri, can someone explain what is better now before the paper?
Radio. I'm sorry, what was that?
Can somebody explain what is better now than before the papers?
Oh, boy, that's... Okay. Before the papers were delivered, everybody in this country, you, me, everybody, we were all official property, recognized by the world, by the UN, by NATO, other countries, everybody around the world, as the private personal property of the U.S. corporation. Now, the U.S. corporation pretends to be a government. It calls us citizens of the United States. However, if you go look up the United States, you're going to find that the United States is a recorded, registered corporation. Okay? How can you be a citizen of a business? A corporation is a business. You can't be a citizen of a business. A business or a corporation can only have three things. It can have inventory, it can have property, and it can have employees. Are you any of those three for the U.S. corporation out of Washington, D.C.? I'm not. But none of us objected. We were accepted around the world as the property of the U.S. corporation and the foreign companies that own that corporation. All right? Now, we have filed those papers. Well, I do not like that word filed because they're not filed. That would imply that we asked for permission or acceptance or recognition. We did not. We simply put a notice out to the entire world. Guess what? We are Americans. We don't need your permission. We don't need your recognition to be what we are. Free men and women on the land we were born on, in a free and independent country made up of free and independent nation states, as they were intended to be from the beginning. We have made this declaration to the world. It is now up to us to act on that freedom. That is what is different. The world has now been told we're not property by our social security numbers or a birth certificate or a driver's license or any other ridiculous adhesion contract that they can come up with. We are not chattel. We are human beings, and we are free and independent, and we have inalienable rights guaranteed us by that Constitution and Bill of Rights that is supposed to limit the power of that corporation out of Washington. That is what is different. Now, where we go from here and how we turn the clock back, restore what's been twisted and distorted, that's up to us. And those changes are up to us to bring about. We will need help. Those documents that were sent give us back our civil authority. Our civil authority gives us the ability to expect our military, which, by the way, belongs to us, not to the corporation, to assist us in any way that we should need it. Now, fortunately, there are a number of people, as Drake has pointed out, that have been working on a plan to do this exact thing for more than 30 years. There are many of them. That plan is unfolding as we speak. I do not know all the details. I have not seen the written plan itself. I am on a need-to-know basis. I was asked, requested, to facilitate that project and be able to put together enough people in a majority of the 50 states to complete that paperwork and get it sent off overseas. I did that, and I gave my word that I would do it. I gave my word also that I wouldn't do anything else. I would not stray from the instructions I was given. I would not let it turn into something else, another organization or some other project or somebody's patriot philosophy idea on how to restore things. No, I gave my word to do one thing. And until I get further instructions, I'm going to do what I was asked to do. And right now, I was asked to stand down and wait for other people to complete their part of the overall plan. I'm not out here demanding the details, because I tell you what, folks, if I demanded that, my communication would be cut off immediately, and for good reason, as it should be. I'm nobody special. I'm just the same as Deatra and Sue and my neighbor across the street and all of you out there. I'm just a fairly well-educated grandmother on a porch in Georgia who always keeps her word, which is probably why they asked me to do it.
Obviously, people do not understand still yet. Freedom Reigns is not Drake. Drake is not Freedom Reigns, period, end of story. All Freedom Reigns is a platform where Drake chose to bring forth his message. That is it, end of story. Just want to make that very clear. So,
well, Freedom Reigns is not Drake. It's not me. It's not Will and Deland and the wonderful shows that they do. It's not Anita and her relocalization